Are we good now?
I don't know. It's not pulling up for me. It still says we're home.
Oh, it's pulling up. Oh my gosh, yay!
Yeah.
Hello,
Holy
everybody.
sh! Did y'all survive?
Oh my
Are
gosh,
y'all
I
okay?
didn't realize that we were cutting out so bad, or at least I was cutting out so badly. Holy crap. Well, thankfully, we were just shooting the shit and talking about what live action movies we have or haven't seen.
It couldn't
Um,
handle our salt.
no, I fixed the settings. Hopefully, it will work a little bit better. Um, yeah, no, it seems to be good now. It seems to be green around right now. So I guess we're good now. I don't. Uh, anyway, I just had to change like our server or sources or whatever. Um, but we're good. We're good now. So continuing, Dumbo. Have you seen
Um,
Dumbo?
no, I have not, and I don't care about Dumbo.
Yeah,
Dumbo.
no,
Like
same.
I
It's
was in like
okay.
late high school when I sat down and I'm like, I'm gonna watch Dumbo, and I watched Dumbo, and I'm like, this is 60 minutes of absolute nothing.
Let me ask: is there anyone who actually genuinely likes Dumbo as a favorite movie? Now they make a great ride. Dumbo's like ride or whatever. Oh wait, no, that's the flying Dumbo thing. I'm
But
thinking Winnie the Pooh. I'm thinking Winnie the Pooh.
Winnie the Pooh is awesome. It's
Yeah.
such a cute little
So
um
So yeah, I don't. I just mean, does anyone actually go out and out of their way to watch Dumbo? Maybe a little kid. Maybe a little kid. I shouldn't complain. You know?
but that's a little kid. They're gonna
Yeah, they're
kind of
little
just
kids,
watch whatever, maybe.
right? And then you have Aladdin, which I've seen, and I actually did. I did like Aladdin. Um, I liked Aladdin over The Lion King, which you haven't seen. Which honestly, like
I know I'm not missing
you're
anything.
not missing anything. And you think, oh, if it's like word for word, The Lion
Reta
King,
yeah.
you think, oh, comedy, and I'd love to see this and the CGI of the animals. No, no, it was literally, it was just there was no spice. Like it was just sad, and the comedy was taken out. It was a little too
I was about to say
serious.
I have opinions about that too. Like the quote unquote live action Lion King. I have opinions about it.
Right.
Um, but there's also Lady and the Tramp.
I was about to say there's Lady and the Tramp, and the last one being Mulan. So
Now, going back to Maleficent before I forget, like I was talking to a friend about this. Monty, like, because he's a friend, he knows that we're what we're aiming to do, and he was checking up on me the other night. He's just like, "Hey, what you up to?" I'm just like, "Watching Mulan," and I hate it because what I want is a reimagining of these stories. I do not want a retelling of these stories. I
mm-hmm.
don't like. Yes, we are from the nostalgia generation. We are very like a very nostalgic generation. We really enjoy nostalgia, but we're also very harsh on the nostalgia that we get because we want a reimagining, not a retelling. That's why Maleficent is very much enjoyed because it's a reimagining of that story, not
Oh,
like Aladdin or The Lion King,
right.
especially The Lion King, where it is a word for word retelling
Yes.
of the exact same story. Like,
So
have us follow Scar. Let us see Scar's point of view. Or better yet, let's see Nala's point of view.
right.
Zazu's point of view. Sarabi's point of view. Let's see Mufasa as a kid. Like, give me something different.
Mm-hmm. So let me let me okay, so let me tell you, because again I scrolled down.
Mhm.
Here are the upcoming films and possible Disney released films coming out. Okay,
And Disney, not like Marvels or Star
Disney
Wars.
Plus release. No, kind of like how the Lady and the Tramp was a Disney Plus release.
Hmm.
There's going to be more live action Disney Plus release videos, and there's going to be one that I know you're going to hate for a fact. So
Do I
upcoming,
need to like turn my
no,
volume down?
in a minute, in a minute. So don't look this up. I want to be the one to tell you.
Okay, okay.
I want to be the one to break the terrible news. Okay. First off, Cruella, which is
Okay,
another
yeah.
101 Dalmatians, which is coming out May of this year, which I think would be interesting because I love if they did like the Maleficent, if they did Cruella, or if they even did Ursula, if they did a
Oh my god.
retelling of the Disney
Yes.
villains. That would be amazing. Like how they
But
did with Maleficent, they could do again
right.
with Cruella. I really would love to see an Ursula film though. Could you
I agree
imagine?
about Ursula. I'm not excited about Cruella just because we have already had live
Well, obviously.
action. And who was it that played Cruella in those? She's a super famous actress.
Yes, and I can't remember her name.
Oh no. It's Mamma Mia. It's Devil Wears Prada.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Oh my God, my sister's gonna kill me.
What's her
Hold
name?
up.
What's her name? Meryl Streep.
Meryl Streep. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm like, Meryl Streep, you can't replace her as Cruella
Mm-hmm.
because she was amazing as Cruella.
Mm-hmm.
But
And then
I've heard who is it supposed to be? Emma, not Emma Stone. Is it Emma Stone? It's one of the Emmas.
hold up. Let me see. Ba 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 ba. Allen. No, that's screenplay. Starring Emma Stone. Yep. Starring Emma Stone and Emma Thompson. Two Emmas.
Oh,
So
God.
Emma Stone as Estella Cruella de Vil. So it is Emma Stone. You're right. Um,
But I'm like, okay, are we gonna get like a young Cruella? That would be
maybe.
interesting, like how she
Well,
became like a huge fashion designer or fashion icon. That would
I
be
mean,
interesting.
I think that's how what it's gonna be. Kind of how like Maleficent started before the actual story
Right.
of Sleeping Beauty,
Right.
which is
Now,
interesting.
if we start getting into the villains and
Mm-hmm.
retelling the villain stories, I am someone who's like, okay, like I kind of like retellings where we try and make the what is originally perceived as a villain in the original story a good guy. And I'm like, I don't want all of those. I don't want all of those. Also,
Mm-hmm.
girl, we forgot about Hook.
Oh
Hook's a
yes,
live action of Peter Pan, and isn't
yes.
it Disney too?
I don't know if Hook is Disney. Hold up.
I don't know. That's the thing is like I really don't know about Hook.
Hook was a film by Steven Spielberg. No, it's not Disney. No.
But see, it's like it is a Peter Pan story. It is a
Yes,
reimagined Peter Pan
but it is
story.
not Disney. And the reason why I say this
Right.
is because okay, hold up.
It's on
Continuing, but we're
Netflix
gonna
and not
yeah,
on this.
it's on my list. It's on the list. Let me just go ahead. All right, so first off, we did Cruella. There's the Little Mermaid, which we've also heard was going to be a part
Right.
of it. Like I knew the Little Mermaid was something. The only upsetting thing is now they kept that one hush hush. Like when they
Yeah.
announced it, they announced some of the characters and all of that. Everyone was talking about it, but now I heard nothing about it. Maybe because it's the pandemic, last year, and that killed a lot of
I think
the
that's
work.
part of it, but I think
Right.
a lot of people got really, really mad that the Little Mermaid is now going to be played by a woman of color.
Oh yeah. But I mean, they could suck it up.
I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah. I
Like,
see. I saw
I
some of the
don't
comments.
fucking care as long as she has red hair and the story's interesting. And guess what? Artemis Fowl, done by Disney, was fucking
Oh
awful because they
yeah.
fucked up Butler's hair and fucked with an interesting storyline.
Well,
Like,
we're gonna see. We're gonna see the Little Mermaid. I'm very interested to see how that goes. There is going to be an untitled sequel to the Jungle Book. There is going
okay,
to
yeah,
be
like that's fair because there was a sequel to the Jungle Book.
yes, there was. There's going to be an untitled follow up. They don't call it a sequel. They called it a follow up to The Lion King, which is going to be very interesting to see because if it has Kovu from The Lion King 2 Simba's Pride,
Mm.
I might watch it. I might watch it. I fell in love with Kovu as a kid. I
Okay,
might
so
watch it.
what if they fuck with that storyline?
I
Huh?
mean, okay,
What if they fuck it up?
you can't because Lion King 2 Simba's Pride didn't even take itself too seriously, you know? It just didn't. Um, but again, who knows? Who knows? Then there's going to be, of course, the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Oh, and there's going to be an untitled Aladdin sequel. So, and that's going to be apparently a theatrical film. Then there's going to be a spin-off Aladdin that's going to be on Disney Plus. I just put that on the bottom. And I'm thinking they're
Mm.
either going to do The Return of Jafar or The King of Thieves. And if we had to pick a sequel for the Aladdin one, I want it to be The King of Thieves.
King of Things
And
is so
in
fucking good.
theatrical.
But I will give you this. This is one of the things I will absolutely praise about the new Aladdin movie because it's like I said, it's like I have harsh things to say about it because that was my Disney movie. But the live action Aladdin, I liked Jafar. I like
did
what they did with
too.
Jafar. I think they kind of like made him a little bit too much of a pussy right there at the very end, but I'm like,
Yeah.
I like what they did with that. I actually wouldn't mind a live action Return of Jafar.
But it's going to
Because
be hard.
that movie was already not super great. They could actually make it better.
This is why I
Or
don't
they
think.
couldn't make it worse. They couldn't make it worse in the animated.
Well, this is the thing. I don't think it's going to be happening because the Return of Jafar focused a lot on Iago's redemption arc.
Oh yeah.
And
Well, like
Iago isn't going to be a big part of it because Iago in itself isn't really a character. Like, I mean, he's there.
I mean, you could still retell it. It's a
True.
retell. Okay, it's a reimagining.
Right. But it's going to be hard just because I remember in Return of the Jafar, one of the biggest things was Iago's redemption arc was in Return of the Jafar. Let's see. Okay, so continuing on. There's going to be an untitled theatrical Aladdin sequel, apparently. Then there's going to be Hunchback from the Hunchback of Notre Dame, which I personally would think would be a good retelling, or like if they follow more towards the book, because honestly, Hunchback was intense. And then the fact that even when they Disney down the movie, it was still intense, right?
Yeah, it was like it is because wasn't Hunchback of Notre Dame in like the Disney Dark Ages? Didn't it fall within that?
No, I think that was a part of the Disney Renaissance.
Okay.
Because the music was amazing.
I'm
I
bad
fucking
with
love it.
dates.
I love the animated music and the Hunchback of Notre Dame. Because I mean, everybody knows Hellfire. Everybody fucking knows Hellfire. And like it just I love the music in that movie.
I was talking to someone about it that it's like, oh, they would love a live action what was it? Live action Hunchback of Notre Dame, and he was giving me somebody that he would love to see as Frollo. No, okay. I told him I would love to see Jeremy Irons play Frollo.
Well, so far they have the screenwriters and producers, but none of the actual casting for that because they don't have a particular date for release.
Oh,
Of the
another thing
Hunchback of
that
Notre
he
Dame.
wanted to see in the live action, if they ever did, they never actually do it, for the live action Hunchback of Notre Dame, Clopin, the jester, who we
Yes.
perceive as a jester, he would love to see Tom Hiddleston play that character.
Oh, that would be awesome. Okay, yeah, I
Right?
can see. I can definitely see that. Yeah, for sure, for sure. But before we get, we're gonna get sidetracked by listing what we could possibly see as that. This is interesting because nobody talks about this character, but Rose Red, which is like Snow White's sister. So you have Snow White and Rose Red. So having a story based on Snow White's sister, Rose Red, would be interesting because not a lot of people know of the story of Rose Red. Well, Snow White and Rose Red.
Heard a lot of interpretations of Snow White. Like I don't remember a lot of them including a sister.
Well, that's the thing. There's two stories that I know of Snow White. There's Snow White and the Seven Dwarves, which is the common
Hmm.
one, and
Yes.
then there is Snow White and Rose Red, which is the
Okay.
story between the sisters. And that is,
Yeah.
and it's an actual like story based off of whoever wrote it. I forgot who wrote it. Um,
I think it's one of those. There's the Grimm fairy tales
yeah,
that are common fairy tales and folklore just written down.
yeah. So it's one of because like I know, and I read the story. We used to have the book Snow White and Rose Red, but it was in Spanish. And like so I knew of the story of Snow White and Rose Red. So I'm very interested to see what they're going to do with it. Then they're going to do a live action retelling or live action theatrical film of Bambi, which I'm not going to see cuz I don't want my heart ripped out. Like that fucking
I'm gonna see
sucks.
it because there's no point
Yeah,
unless we're
Bambi
gonna
bored
follow
me.
the hunter. There's
No,
no
but
point.
the Bambi really bored me. Like even the animated film bored me. Like I did not like that. And then and then Hercules. There's going to be a theatrical release of Hercules.
Like they've been talking about Hercules. Hercules has
I
been
I know, but like I don't know if I don't know, man. I don't
like
know,
they
man.
these kind of things start being talked about like 4 or 5 years in advance before we even hear about them starting to like film.
Right. So those are all that they've released that is a theatrical film. And then you have these Disney Plus release films, which is Peter Pan and Wendy, which is a retelling of Peter Pan. Pinocchio, The Sword and the Stone, which is going to be interesting, and Robin
They keep
Hood.
the humor of that one. I really do
I
keep
really,
hope
I
they
hope they did for The Sword and the Stone. It was ahead of its time. It was funny. I really
it
enjoyed The
was
Sword and the Stone.
cute.
It
It was
really was.
adorable.
It was just teaching, how Arthur became king and become more confident in himself. And fucking Merlin the
Like
Wizard is amazing. I love
Sword
him.
in the Stone, the Disney Sword in the Stone is actually like a small excerpt from a very famous book called The Once and Future King.
Yes.
And it's the reverse telling, or my understanding, I've never read it. This is what my mother has explained to me. The Once and Future King is telling Merlin's story from present time back.
Yeah.
So we end up getting in this story a small excerpt of his time with Arthur, and this is what we see. This
I'd
is
love to see that.
why Merlin shows up in like sneakers and shorts
Yeah,
and a
yeah.
Hawaiian shirt.
Right. That'll be interesting. Like I'm really I actually did like The Sword and the Stone. And then
It
there's
would
Robin
also be
Hood.
interesting if we expanded upon that.
Right. Um
So Robin Hood.
if they don't make them
We've
animals,
had so
anthropomorphic
many
animals.
tellings of Robin Hood.
I no, I want them to be anthropomorphic animals. If they're gonna do Robin Hood,
I
I want that to
don't.
be because like they of course there's
I
gonna be so
don't
many
want that
retellings.
CGI.
No,
That CGI is gonna be so good.
I don't care. I don't care. I cannot
I
see
don't
because
want it. I want it
first of all,
classic. I want it timeless like Udalali.
I want
What?
animals. I want animals. And the reason
I
why
don't want it
there's
live
a reason.
action.
No, there's a reason for this. There's a reason for this. If they have to do a live action, I want animals because, like you
I mean,
said, there are so many retellings of Robin Hood in film and like that kind of film throughout many different kinds of production companies aside from Disney.
so many. Holy Jesus, there are
That
so many.
the reason why the Robin Hood of Disney stood out was because of the animals. They did a retelling of the
Because it
animals.
was animated.
And it was animated. But it was like I loved the animals. I loved Robin Hood. I loved
I
the music. I liked I
I don't want them to remove all the humor of it, but B, like I don't
or
want
the
a fucking
sass.
telling of cats in Robin Hood. I don't
Well
want cats.
well first of all, Cats wasn't made by Disney. And Disney has more money. So
Disney has more money, but
mm-hmm.
still, like
Mm-mm.
that's basically what we're gonna end up getting.
That's one thing I think we're just gonna have to differ. Because I have to see it in animals. I cannot see another
I
human
mean,
rendition of Robin Hood because that just bores me.
we can have it in animals, but it doesn't need to be quote unquote live action with really shitty CGI.
We'll see.
Okay, that's
We'll see.
that's my
We'll see.
argument.
We'll see. Because this has no announcement date. So who knows if it's gonna be made when CGI is a little bit better. I mean, of course CGI is gonna like falter, whatever, because practical effects is more better, like it's just much better. But anyway, I think that's one thing we're gonna differ. You don't want to see animals like CGI animals. I want to because I feel like it just holds
I
the I
I
think it
just don't want
holds
to see
the
CGI. That's what
yeah.
I don't want to see is it CGI.
Oh well, it's gonna be CGI. That CGI, you're gonna have to
They're
accept
gonna
that.
date it.
No, CGI is gonna be
Yes,
around forever. Like now that we've
CGI is
discovered,
gonna be around forever, and CGI is always gonna improve. But because it's always gonna improve, that means old CGI is gonna get dated.
well, I mean, most of these are
And it's
already
gonna
dated.
start looking bad. It's gonna start looking really, really bad.
Well, yeah, but again,
And that's
I still don't think like I mean, you can complain about it will never be practical. It's gonna be CGI, but so are most of the movies that I've already listed. So those are gonna be dated anyway. You know, like and honestly, a lot of people say that the CGI is just cheaper than practical effects. So of course they're gonna take the CGI route. It's just it is what it is. Fucking CGI is just gonna be around, and I think that's what they're gonna do. All right. So then we talked about the Untitled Aladdin spinoff, and if you hate CGI, you're gonna hate this. You're gonna hate this so much. They are going to do a Disney Plus release of Lilo and Stitch, and I guarantee you it's gonna be CGI.
I mean, it's not all gonna be CGI because there's actual humans in
Well,
this.
obviously, but the aliens I would actually love to see in CGI. I mean, of course you can animate them, but since
I
CGI
mean, there are some like
aliens,
what the doctor or mad scientist. Let's be honest, the mad scientist is doable in practical effect.
yeah, yeah.
It's
Are there? Let me. So this is my question: if they're gonna do a Lilo and Stitch, um, what is it? If they're gonna do a Lilo and Stitch, live
there's
action,
hope for Atlantis and Treasure Planet if they do Lilo and Stitch.
fucking fuck, man, no, because Lilo and Stitch was actually good, like in the eyes of the
Atlantis
public.
and Treasure Planet were fucking good too.
But that was they're considered cult classics. They were not that good. They bombed in the box office.
because
One,
they they self-sabotaged with both of those.
no, 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 no. The because they advertised it very well. I remember all the like the ads and everything, but they bombed in the box office. And during like the only thing of the Dark Ages that actually did not bomb was Lilo and Stitch. Like that one did not bomb. It everyone loved it. Everybody loved Stitch. Everybody loved the story. It went well. Like that was the one surviving thing. So of course they're going to remake that one. And honestly, do they have any CGI aliens in like The Mandalorian?
Uh, no.
Oh, they're
In
all
The
practical
Mandalorian,
effects.
they're all practical effects. Now, they do keep
Ooh.
everything kind of like on a small scale, but in reality, they they can keep everything on the small scale just like in The Mandalorian or Treasure Planet. And they could technically kind of do it as well for Lilo and Stitch because there's only five main. As long as we keep it to just Lilo and Stitch and we don't get into the other experiments. I do need to go ahead
Oh
and
yeah, we're
establish
not.
that.
No, that no. That's. I don't
L-
think that's gonna happen.
I was about to say, let's just go ahead and establish that real quick. As long as we're not getting into the other experiments, we have five main aliens, and we could absolutely justify making those practical.
Well, not when you're in the council. Oh, I guess that could be CGI. Like when they're
I
brought
mean,
up
that
to the
could
council.
be green screen
That's true. Mm-hmm.
because we only talk with the woman. I don't remember her name. I'm sorry.
Oh, hold up.
But
Every
we
Disney
can.
movie that didn't have a song bombed in the theaters. I don't know about that because
Treasure Planet had a song.
yeah, but that was a box office bomb, and that's why we don't get a sequel because they were planning a sequel. They thought that Treasure Planet was going to be a. I could talk about Treasure Planet all fucking day. So they
Are you
thought
sure
that
it's Treasure Planet, or are you sure you're not talking about Atlantis? Because we've had the
no,
same conversation before.
no, there was a sequel for Treasure Planet where they find Blackbeard, the pirate, like a more space rendition of Blackbeard, the pirate.
Are you sure that wasn't the game?
I Abby, are you really going to question me
I'm
what my
just
love?
making
And
sure
I
because
was
we've
like,
had this argument before.
and I told you this. I've told you this. There was supposed to be, and they even released what was it? Storyboards. They released storyboards of Treasure Planet's second movie because they thought Treasure Planet was going to be big. They really did because it was
They
one of
just
the
shot
first.
themselves in the foot on
Yeah,
both of those.
well, because they were very ambitious. They tried to incorporate the CGI with the 2D animation, and it worked. Like it worked for the time, and it was brilliant. They thought it was going to capture everyone's attention, but it didn't. It bombed in the box office, and the money they were going to use that they would have gotten from Treasure Planet would have gone to Treasure Planet 2, and it didn't work.
But
And it would have
like,
followed. It would have followed Jim in his like in the academy. That was what would happen. Like it would follow him in the academy, and then like it was just they had a whole story, and it's
like
gone.
I want to say that like Lilo and Stitch, Atlantis, and Treasure Planet were all
I'd love to see Atlantis though.
B
Ugh.
team animators. They were the B team animators. They were allowed to do these because it was done by B team, not A team that does like the big stuff like Beauty and the Beast and shit, what else? Like Little Mermaid and all this stuff. And that other things, bigger things were happening at the same time, and they were not putting the budget forward to advertise these. That's why they bombed. Well, like
Mm,
Treasure Planet and Atlantis. Obviously, Lilo and Stitch are always going to win because it's a little girl and basically her dog.
yeah,
That's going to win America over.
yeah,
It
that's
always
true.
does.
I sent you a thing I sent you on the thing on the Discord so you can read it. But yeah, don't test me. I was so excited for Treasure Planet. Fucking love
Because
Treasure
that was
Planet.
the game. Are you talking about Blackbeard?
No, this
Zamer?
is. Wait, what?
Zamer saying that was the game.
No, look at the Wikipedia.
The
I sent it to you. Look at the Wikipedia. It wasn't the game. I promise. What was the game was like what was it? The shit.
Yeah, see, like what like there were no real advertisements for Atlantis or Treasure Planet. Like they were
I
kind of there.
No, I
Like
remembered the reason why I remembered Atlantis so much is because I did see the ads and I really loved it. I loved it. And I don't remember and I remember okay, so I remember watching it in theaters. I fell in love with it. Cuz I'm a very big adventure person. I
mm,
love adventure movies. That's why Indiana Jones is one of my favorites as well. Fucking love Indiana Jones. So Atlantis was like an adventure film for kids, which technically wasn't for kids because there were a lot of people who died in that movie, like a lot. But if
they
we
were
could,
screen deaths. It's fine. You can rage about off-screen deaths all you want, but they're still off-screen.
let me just say, if I had to choose between Atlantis and Treasure Planet as a live action, I would love to see Atlantis more.
I was about to say Atlantis all the way because we are
Oh my
Treasure
god.
Planet is just Treasure Island. We have Treasure Island
Yes.
stories left and right, and
But
some
could you
really good
imagine?
ones. My favorite Treasure Island story is Muppet Treasure Island. My dad has told me
Oh, I
because he
love Muppet
loves
Treasure
that
Island.
book. He loves that book. That he says the most loyal storytelling of Treasure Planet ever is Muppet Treasure Island.
Yes, I love it. I love Muppet Treasure Island. And I guess the Muppets are now Disney owned, isn't? Yeah, they're Disney owned now, right?
Yes. And it is on Disney Plus. Like when my parents got it, that was like the first thing I watched
Mm-hmm.
was Treasure Planet and Muppet Treasure Island.
So let's see, died off screen. They're Disney safe. Okay. Um.
But yeah, no, I'm with you 100%. Like the thing that they need to make first live action is Atlantis
Okay.
because it
This is
would
the
be
reason.
amazing.
I prefer the character. What was it? Unity. I guess the character friendships in Atlantis because in Treasure Planet there wasn't much. It was just
Right.
pretty much the relationship between Jim and
Silver.
yes, Silver. Whereas in Atlantis, it's Milo and the the explorer. Like
Kita
yeah,
and
no,
Audrey and
yeah,
Sweets and
everybody.
Mole and Cookie and
You had a good group of people there. Like it
Benny.
was just good, so
I
good.
also, I also really liked what, like, I can't really say this as a white woman, but like personally, I like Treasure Planet because they have a diverse cast. Like,
Well,
I
well,
appreciate that
you
they're
said
not all cookie cutter personalities. They're not all cookie cutter like looks and body types. It's like we have a very vast array of people.
you
Like,
said Treasure
Bowl does
Planet.
not look like Sweets at all. Sweets does not
Oh,
look like
okay.
Milo at all. Mrs. Packard does not look like anybody at all. It's like, I appreciate that. We have the stereotypical looks of uh Rourke and Helga of being like the butch soldier and the pretty blonde. But then we have all these other characters there.
I loved it
I love Atlantis. I love Atlantis so much. I love
because
it
I
so
like
much.
everything that you stated. Because like Atlantis and Treasure Planet are my top two
Mm,
Disney animated films. Over even over like Beauty and the Beast. Like over that, they're my favorite films.
yes.
Just because they are very much more adventurous. They didn't focus like on the romance. Like even between Kita and Milo, it wasn't focused on their romance. It was focused on a man trying to help rebuild the culture, you know? Like he had knowledge that they didn't that they needed. That to me was what was so good. Um and of course their diverse cast of characters. As a person of color, I loved it.
Huh.
As a person of color, I loved it. And
Xaver, you right. You right,
what do you say?
Xaver. You right. Jack Black for Mole.
Yes,
Yes. Yes.
yes, yes. That would be amazing.
Terry Crews for Sweets.
Oh, that would be fun too. Oh my god,
Mm,
yeah.
mm.
So, like, honestly, I would rather have that as a live action. And like, and this is me complaining about live action Disney films. They can't fuck that up. They can't. Cause like,
They will.
I hope they don't. It's such a good film, and that I think that would be one of the animated films that would transfer better as a live action. Like, I really do. Treasure Planet, maybe not as much, because you're gonna have to use a lot of CG or practical effects for all the aliens, you know. Uh, and for Silver, that would
I
be
mean,
intense.
and it's one of those things, it would be fine because
Kita
it's
and
the
Milo's relationship
same
did feel natural.
limit.
Yes. Sorry,
They
go
did
ahead.
feel supernatural. The Treasure Planet, it's the same, like, 8 to 10 aliens at the same time, and they can just be reused.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike,
Hold up,
and
hold up, hold up, hold up. We're losing.
I like it's doable with a Disney budget. I don't think
1 second, Abby. We're
are we
okay. We were cutting out.
freaking
Sorry.
out?
Yeah,
Are we
go ahead.
freaking?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, like, I don't think all production companies could be able to do it. They don't have the budget. They don't have access to the skills. Disney has access to Jim Henson
Mm-hmm.
Studios. They have
Mm-hmm.
access to the people. They can make this happen and make it
Mm-hmm.
look good
I
and
think
make it like last. I don't know. I feel like Treasure Planet might do better, or Atlantis might do better as like a mini series
ooh, that I would watch. Oh,
and
I would watch
actually
that.
world build
Yes.
through that.
Oh, hell
So
yes.
world build with Atlantis and actually get more into the story
Yeah,
for
give me
Treasure
some more
Planet.
meat. Some more meat. That would be awesome to see if it was a mini series instead of because like if you, I mean think about it. If you did Atlantis, we're gonna do Atlantis because it's just easier for me to pick through.
Yeah.
Do you remember that scene where they're like the travel montage when they go in and they
Yeah,
see
the
like
montage. Yeah. When they're like, once they've gotten past the Leviathan and they end up where Milo sets everything on fire, that entire montage, going through that, I agree.
I would
Dedicate a
love
couple
to
of
see that.
episodes to that.
Yeah.
Give
Yeah.
me that.
That would be amazing. Like I think that would work really really well. And because it is a cult classic film and it's gotten, you know, now the all the young people who didn't like it when they were younger are older and they love it now, you know, it would
No,
still.
I'm not one of those people. I loved it from the moment I saw
Oh
it.
yeah, me too. But I was also one of those kids who was lucky enough to watch Indiana Jones at a very young age. You know, I watched a lot of
Yep.
adventure films. So I was one of the kids who loved it the moment I saw it. Both those films, fucking loved them. But for a lot of kids, I remember it wasn't enough. I remember a lot of kids didn't really like it as much as I did. But now that they're older, they loved it. That's why I'm pointing that out. So now that they were older and they understand it a little bit better and like how amazing and adventurous and actiony it is, they love it. And I think it would still cater to those kind of people as well, you know? Um, so I think if they give it another chance, and we're not even going to talk about the Atlanta sequel. We're not going to talk about that. But if they gave the first film a
It's not a
chance,
sequel. It was supposed to be a
a
TV
show,
show.
yeah, but
I wish they would make that show, honestly. Because it was interesting.
it
Like,
was
why
interesting.
it's so disjointed is because